Hey there YouTube, Elite Legionario here, bringing you a 1 versus 1 on Medieval 2 Total War on the Tuscany map, up against my old Medieval 2 mate, Lavernicus, who of course is commanding his favourite faction, Spain. I'm in command of Egypt, so I've definitely got a much inferior faction, and this is going to be very, very tough. I've played Lavernicus many times, and that in itself is really the only advantage I have, is I know the way he plays, but at the same time he also knows the way I play. So, you know, if I can play into what I know about him, it's going to be my best way to actually get victory over him here. So, my forces consist of, let's start with my cavalry. This is really the only department in which Egypt, in my opinion, is a very good faction. It just does not have anything else other than good cavalry. I've got a couple of standard Mamluks and a couple of Royal Mamluks. The Royal Mamluks are some of the best cav units in the game. Very high quality units, and their Mamluks are good as well. But as far as cavalry goes, Egypt is very capable, very reliable in that way. But infantry, it's very, very poor. And missile units, it's also very, very poor. So that's where the main weakness is going to be in my army. So I have 2 units of peasants just to do my meat shielding, like I always usually have this. I think it's a very, very important part of a medieval 2 setup. And I have 6 units, I think it's 6 units of Tabarderia, which are a 2-hander unit. They are very capable and they're very good on a charge, but like I've seen in other videos, because of that glitchiness of the 2-hander units in the standard medieval 2, they can't always be relied upon. Sometimes they can be very, very effective if they get a good charge, and sometimes they fight well, but other times this glitch kind of hits them and they really don't go anywhere. So I am banking on that, because they really have nothing that's, you know, anything reliable. So if I get a good charge, I might be able to cause a real shock value, but being up against Lavernicus, he's going to be bringing Conquistadors and Chivalric Knights, which are much better infantry. Conquistadors are the best infantry, so it's going to be very tough. I also have I have 4 units of Sudanese gunners. This was I wanted to toss them in for a bit of fun. I like gun units, but they're not nearly as good as Lavernicus' musketeers, much better gunners, so I'm way outperformed there. But if I use them carefully enough, they can still be of much value. I want to try and use the guns to cause morale damage to the infantry. I'm going to ignore his guns completely for my guns and focus on his infantry, so I can reduce the morale, and then when I get the shock charging with my Tabarderia, hopefully their morale will be so low that I can cause a large rout, or, you know, they have very weak morale, so they won't hold the fight too long. So that should nullify my disadvantage infantry wise. I also have a couple, I have 1 or 2 units, 2 units I think was desert archers. These guys are just very basic archers, nothing spectacular. And I also have 2 units of Nafatoons, and again, this is the shock value. Nothing really routs an army quickly or causes massive morale damage like a couple of Nafatoons into the flanks. It's really deadly. It's amazing how quickly even the greatest infantry units will collapse under that. So that's what my Nafatoons are for. So I'm aiming to reduce infantry's morale, because my infantry will most certainly lose to his, but if his morale is down enough from gunfire, Nafatoons, and a really thick, heavy charge from 2-hander units, it could cause a mass rout. It is possible, but very difficult, particularly against Spain. So that is kind of different. As you can see, I've already taken some pretty nasty casualties, but my peasants are screening my approach, so I'm not taking any casualties with my gunners. He's well in range, I am not. And this is what my peasants are for. See, he's kind of trying to get to my gunners, but he can't, because my peasants are going to take the charge for me. And that was the end of Conquistadors too. So now he is in gun range, right point blank, so I will just shoot his Conquistadors while they're right here, so hopefully that will cause them to rout. Here come the rest of his cav, and I'm going to fling around here now. I see that he spread his cav far away. I wanted to make some strikes against his dismounted infantry units here, because I need to even that field a bit, but he's obviously not going to let that happen, so he's going to come down here. But my cavalry is very good and can fight with Chivalric Knights pretty easily. He has 4 Chivalric Knights, and it looks like he had 1 Conquistador. and the general's bodyguard. The rest of his men were dismounted conquistadors, for those infantry rather, dismounted conquistadors, triplet knights, feudal knights, just basically the general mixture, but probably about 3 or 4 of each in certain situations. A pike unit was mixed in there with his muskets, and he had 3 muskets, so a pretty standard, good Spanish army from Lavernicus. As you can see, I am managing to win the cav fight. My men do have a mace, which gives them an armour piercing value, and they are very, very good cavalry. I would dare to say every bit as good as Chivalric Knights, actually probably better. The Royal Mamluks are better, the Standard Mamluks probably not quite as good. But this is where Egypt is good. You need the cavalry units to win this, but I have to be very cautious with them. I don't want them getting into any nasty situations. I saw those tertio pikes coming in, so I am pulling out of this. So this little tussle mostly goes my way. I kill more cav, and I bring in some Tabataria to add offer some extra support, but I won't hang around in that forever. So I've got my Nefatoons right in the back here. This is to protect them and to make sure they get in plenty of damage on these units. Like I said, his infantry, he's got a lot more of it. Sometimes Lavernicus goes with small numbers, lots of upgrades, or lots of numbers, no upgrades. It's just a mixture. In this case, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think he's about 12 to my 6, so he's got twice as many infantry as me. But I have got more upgrades, obviously. But having said that, because I've got 2 handy units, it's going to be very difficult. So I'm going to use my peasants here to try and basically just soak him up a bit here to kind of stop his guns getting any shots on me. As you can see, it's allowed me to open up with my guns. And I'm focusing on, I'll start focusing on his infantry, because like I said, I want to reduce the morale, because it's my only shot at the way this wants, that if I want to have victory at this. So the only real risk this time is now, I have no, my meat shields are pretty much dead now, so he's still got cav to charge my guns, so that's a bit of a nuisance. But as you can see, I'm opening up, and I'm using my bows to pin down his musketeers and pikes, but my bows will be pretty limited. So basically the Sudanese gunners, they've got good attack, good missile attack, but their range is much less than a musketeer unit. The musketeers are certainly the best. Now here comes some of his cav units, and I'm actually going to use my archers to screen here. I find that my archers and some of my peasants regroup, thankfully. Unfortunately, he does get some of my gunners, I think, there. He knows that he needs to get out of this because I have infantry ready to instantly intercept him now. And there was Nefatoons ready to support as well, so he didn't stay in that, so wise move by Lavernicus there. So I'm going to bring my peasantry forward again. This is just to pin up his cavalry while I deal with it with some of my other own cavalry, or at least fight it down. I don't expect this Mamluk to beat it, of course, but if it can hold it there, I can be creative with these 3 over here. So I'm pulling back now because I am getting kind of nailed by those guns there, and I don't want his cav getting too many strikes me while I was disorganised, but I'm going to use my bows here to screen in the place of my peasants. Well, they are of more value, and I don't want to entirely throw them away. They are of obviously less necessary need than the Sudanese gunners, which are there for shock value. So, for some reason my controls keep putting them into wedge. I don't know if I was bumping things or weird stuff was happening. I don't really want them in wedge, so I don't know why that keeps happening. So I'm bringing up my gunners again. But my focus is these infantry units. As you can see, this unit's down to 54. Some of them down. It's just even 1 or 2 casualties. Even though I don't actually inflict many casualties, if I inflict shock damage on them, reduce their morale, when I get the Nefatoons in and then get that big charge from my X-Men, the morale damage could be very potent and could cause a mass rout. It is doable, but it will be difficult because the conquistadors will likely hold, but some of these other units, the feudal knights, all of this is very good dismounted infantry. So it might not work, but it can work. I've done it before. It does work, and it is a viable tactic and strategy. So that's what I'm banking on this time. I'm very confident in my cavalry to beat his cavalry. That's not actually that much of a concern. Well, it could be very, very, very even, but I'm confident I can win that department for the most part. But I am a bit careful here. I don't want my men getting shot up by his muskets, which I think is what's happening. So it's very smart that he's going after my cavalry because he knows that Egypt is very, very cavalry dependent for its victories. For the most part, That's not the same in the Crusades expansion. Egypt has been improved. They've got a quite capable dismounted infantry unit, and that's very, very useful to have. So here I'm going to charge in, try and take out some of more of his cavalry units here. And as expected, the fight is mostly going my way, and I've left this unit here for any flanking duties or protection duties here. The pike's there, so I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm actually going to charge that with my archer unit here. Now, obviously I'd lose a fight like this, but if I can pin up his pikes, it keeps it out of the cav fight, so I can encircle over this side and destroy the rest of Lavernicus' chivalric knights here. And now here comes my infantry, but probably my own units are going to get in the way here a bit. But he has to peel off some infantry units to assist. So that's actually good though, because it just means I'm going to go, if I can cause enough shock here, I can actually, make it easier. But I'm going to go for a rear charge with this unit here, just in case, because I don't want to lose my infantry, I really need them. So I get a nice downhill charge into the back of these Imperial Knights here, with my Tabata rear. And they do a nice job there, and as you can see, some of his cavalry units are starting to rout. So over here, I do get in with my Tabata rear, but the fight is still very even. I did get a good charge, but once the fight gets into this where it gets stuck down, my men will not do as well. But I do have more upgrades, so that's going to work nicely. So I'm going to put my Sudanese gunners onto the flank, so I can cause a rout up here and start wrapping. And I'm also going to start throwing Napatoons on the side. So I'm going to try and take the right flank out and push straight through. As you can see through here, he's actually punched a gap in my line, which is bad. But as you can see, look at this, just a couple of Napatoons have routed this Conquistador, so we've got just a few hits from me and they're gone. So nothing really routs like a Napatoons do, although probably some of the gunners help as well. So as you can see, I'm starting to rout. As you can see, that the Napatoons are causing massive routing problems, and they're starting to chain rout here because of morale damage. So what I was aiming to do was just cause enough morale shock in Lavernicus' line, and the combination of Napatoons, some flaming arrows I put on, and musket fire on the flanks, and the charge of those two-handed units has really caused a big chain rout, and what otherwise would be an easy victory for Lavernicus' superior infantry units. And I've also got some cav units here that are still roaming in the back, and I'm starting to rout them. So I won the cav fight, but it was really, really close, because Spanish cavalry is still very excellent, but the Napatoons played a very, very big role. And his general's here, and they're likely going to get destroyed now, but his general's going to get naffed pretty bad. So I think Napatoons could be a very overpowered unit, particularly in a siege. They most definitely are. But in a field battle, I don't think they're too big a deal. You just take them out with archers or cav strikes. Light cav are a good choice because they're fast. They're not too hard to deal with, in my opinion, but if you let them do what I did in this fight, they can cause a very big morale shock here, and all these good Spanish infantry units didn't hold, whereas ordinarily they would easily beat Tabata in a 1-for-1. So combination of things like gunfire to reduce the morale, Napatoons, flaming arrows, and of course just the gnarly charge of a two-hander unit on the initial approach can cause some serious punishment in the morale area. And as you can see, Lavernicus' army collapsed very quickly under those situations. But ordinarily, if you would just go like 1-for-1 Tabata versus, say, Chivalric Knight Tabata versus Conquistador, Tabata will lose because it'll suffer from that glitch. In one of the 4 expansions, it could potentially do much better, but Conquistadors are extremely good. So I've said that in many videos, but by this point I managed to win. I needed that. See, as you can see, some people probably wonder why I always use a peasant as a meat shield. You saw why. It protected me from those gunfire, protected me from those cav charges. It's very, very useful, and it's not vital, but I like to have it because it just gives me some more options to keep my men alive. And if they absorb a charge, the enemy cav can get stuck, and then you can get your infantry into them and quickly finish them while they're not charging. So if you can nullify enemy cavalry in this game, it's really very useful. So I'm just mopping up routers here, guys. So I think it's very, very useful meat shielding, but some people don't like to do it. That's fine. As you can see, here's a 1-for-1 fight between Chivalric Knight and this Tabata. Tabata had 10 more men. It was still getting beaten. So that's the point. If it's just a 1-for-1 equal fight without a charge, the Tabata will lose. kills general there, which is cool. The Debateria though, they look very cool in my opinion. I really like two-handed units, and I'm glad they fixed the problem in the, like the Britannia, the Americas, the Crusades, and the Teutonic. And like if anyone's who's got them is interested in playing them, I will play them. I really want to get videos for those games up to my channel, those expansions up onto my channel. I really do, but no one wants to play them in the Medieval 2 lobby. But if you ever do want to play them, leave comments. I would love to play them, so I want to get videos for my channel for those. So a really great game to Lavernicus here. This is a clear victory, but it was pretty close. I mean, I lost quite a lot of men. I had 1,071 men, he had 1,076, so pretty much exactly the same numbers, only 5 men difference. I lost 665, I got 406 left, killed 802 and 153 men captured, so closing on 1,000 there. And Lavernicus 962 loss, 114 left, and 750, so pretty close kill rates really. The Royal Mamluks, they did a pretty nice job, so the Mamluks, for this one, this took a bit of a hammering, but it was fine. But the Royal Mamluks did a good job because they had a lot of work against that Chivalric Knights and things. Sudanese gunners, I was very impressed. Even though their casualty rates are higher than their inflicted, they were up against much better gunners in their face, so we're quite pleased with that. The Nafatoons, doesn't look like they got much kills, but it's the morale damage, just the mass rout effect that they caused it, which is desired. The Debateria were very, very, I wasn't expecting a heap from them because I've used them and other two-handed units in the past, and they're really not the greatest because of the glitch, but they worked quite well here because of the morale shocks and damages I got in. The Archers I was very impressed with as well. Let's see, the peasants always prove a very useful role. So everything in this army actually performed for what I needed and wanted. So it was really good. So great game to you, Lavernicus, and I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. And like I said just before, if you do want to play any of the expansions, Americas, Britannia, Crusades and Teutonic, I would love to, because I just would really like to get some videos for that, but it's just very hard to. So anyway guys, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you soon next time.